Holding the feeling state of the wish fulfilled. Neville Goddard talked about it. Bob Proctor talked about it. Napoleon Hill talked about it. Why is it that all these mentors talking about holding that feeling state to put something in your conscious mind, hold it in your mind until you can feel it in your heart, and then you'll hold it in your hand. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through a one-on-one training I did with one of my high-ticket clients, teaching him how to hold the feeling state so he could take his coaching business from the six-figure level up to the six-figure per month level. Do one of the visualization and do one of the self-talk, the one I just taught you right now. Do that, okay? So this is way more weight than whatever action, okay? The second thing you're going to do is right before you go off to sleep, you're going to do this again. Do, if anything, combine them together. Do 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Do a visualization and a self-talk right before you go off to sleep. Like literally, go to sleep. Don't walk on your phone. Don't do anything else. Go off to sleep. And as you're doing it, put it in your heart. My life, honestly, if you were to look at my life, it looks like this. I don't know. I just had like this image pop up in my mind. Like I kind of have this image in my mind. Don't mind me. It's like not planned, but I'm kind of seeing this thing. It's like my mental. Let's talk about things. My mind plus my actions plus my energy. Like what, as far as the routine, right? I'd say it mostly goes to this when it goes to this idea of meditation and feeling states. My life revolves around these things first. And then here is like whatever action I'm going to take. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Like it's so much bigger. Even though this might only be, say, like 20 minutes out of the day, it has so much more weight than whatever I'm doing here, which might take me 8 hours a day of work. But this has so much more weight. So like let's go back to like the days of Bob Proctor the first time. I'm sitting on this couch, right? And I have at least $1,000, no more than like 1,200. It was like 1,060, some shit like this. And it's like it wasn't even enough to pay for rent. My rent was like 600 a month. I was like, fuck, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna make this shit happen. And then I did everything I'm saying now. I like surrendered, and I was making YouTube videos because I thought I was gonna come from YouTube. YouTube video takes me what 30 minutes. Let's say an hour to make. I had studied TIR. That's another hour. What the hell am I gonna do the rest of my day now? I have no clients. I studied already. Like, I'm not going to just study for 25 hours. Like, I'm not doing that. And I just, like, I was also doing semen retention at the time, which I also was experimenting with that to see if semen retention is something that helps me. I don't get too deep. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep, but I was doing semen retention during that period. It wasn't long, maybe 7 days I had started. I was in lesson 4 of TIR. So it was at this period that I learned about this idea of getting emotionally involved. But Bob never taught the like meditation like I know now that I teach to you guys. I didn't know about theta, sync, sleep like states. Like he just said get emotionally involved, which it sounds nice, but how do you actually do that? And so I just like thought, okay, these meditations. So I was doing meditations no less than 3 times a day. At least just 15 minutes. Anytime I got an urge to kind of like, dude, it's like pandemic. So what are you doing in the house today? It's like after I had an urge to rub one out or I was bored, I wasn't seeing any chicks. And so like that was often, bro. Like 2-3 times a day, you know, I'm thinking about this shit. I never did it. I never rubbed one out that much. I never did, but I'm just like, just the urge, bro. It's like you get the urge for a moment and then you stop and it comes back an hour later. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So I've never rubbed one out 3 times in a day, bro. I'll keep it on it. I was messing with you. I've never just in a regular meeting, right? But anyways, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I had anytime I had that, I was like, no, let me go meditate. So I'm looking at 2 to 3 times a day. 15 minutes, putting on some audio, it's just no music. And I would notice myself, I lay on my back as well as important. If I stay on my side, I fall asleep. So I lay on my back and I would bounce in between this weird, interesting world. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But it was like, at one moment I would like begin to fall asleep, but I wake back up, and my body, like I woke up inside my body, if that makes sense. Like I like wake up with my eyes and twitch my body and shit. It's like I woke up and I was like, I bounced in and out. I was like, oh fuck, I almost fell asleep. But wait, I'm awake now. But I'm almost asleep. And I was like in and out of this door, and what is now known as theta delta state, right? It's like I was in and out of sleep. And so I was deep in the sleep like state, which took 5-10 minutes to do. This is where I would start visualizing things. And what I would visualize specifically was vehicles in which the money can come. Remember I talked about in Think and Go Rich
Yeah.
in lesson 2 when we talked about goals that visualize the way in which like you rendering the service. Visualize yourself rendering the service. So for me, that meant having a booked out calendar. That was a vehicle in which if I had a booked out calendar, the money would show up. So in a state of these 15-minute meditations 2 to 3 times a day, the vehicle I chose was a fully booked out calendar, which I've showed you is what ended up happening 7 days later. It can happen very quickly. Even the Neville Goddard thing, it goes to 3 days. I'm studying right now my personal life Silva method, which is another meditation. If you ever heard of this, and the Silva method is very similar. He says in 3 days of you doing this mental screen while going off to bed. It's like very similar synchronicity. I just as I was listening today in the car, I was like, even Silva said 3 days. It's a 3 day thing. If you go to sleep with these things that I'm saying, so you have the night routines and the day routines. If you do this 3 times a day, it will show up and a door will open within 3 days. If your belief is big enough, it will show up within 3 days. If you need to work your belief up, maybe it opens the door. What would that look like? My belief around money is easy. If I like 20K in a day, whatever, I do that at least every month, every other month in a day, 20K. So it's like for me to earn 50K in a day is normal. Like I already know this, right? So it can come to me easy within a day. But let's just say I wanted to make 100 in a day. My belief level is not quite there. Maybe a door opens, such as a video goes viral, or I get an idea to do this, and it's like the door will open up, and then it'll put me on trajectory towards the 100K month as it builds my belief over time. But anyways, let me digress now. I'll show you this recording and everything as well. But
Okay.
anyway, so we're doing these meditations 2 to 3 times a day. Okay. Going in a sleep-like state, and I'm visualizing a vehicle. So as what I'm doing now is I'm visualizing my plaque for the YouTube subscribers. I hold it, I touch it, I run my finger across where it says presented to Miss Law of Attraction. You know?
Hmm.
And this is just what will start to happen, man. I forgot your question, bro. But like I don't know if that's
Yeah,
what was
I
the
was.
question one more time?
Um,
My daily routine. My daily routine. Yes, that's what it was. So that's what I would say, bro. So it's like these 3 meditations have way more weight over whatever happens. So what ended up happening is I'm doing different actions. So at the time I was doing like YouTube videos that took me like an hour. And then I would run these like free Zoom calls, like these free, like let's just call it a webinar. I would run these webinars like once, twice a week. I think it was once a week. Yeah, once a week it was. Every Monday. That's what it was. It was every Monday. So I'd run once a week. And then randomly, after doing this guy messages me. So it came to me. He's like, "Yo, D, I see you running these webinars. Can you go and do one for me?" I said, "Sure." And that is what actually manifested everything for me. And I actually manifested in real life the exact thing I was meditating on. So it happened with me with that, and it happened with me with YouTube, where it's like my routine, it's like, okay, I put so much more weight around this, which is my meditation and my feeling states. You already know the meditation. It's a simple 2 to 3 meditations a day, 15, 20 minutes. Try to try to get into that fall asleep state practice. If you fall asleep, try it again. Don't beat yourself up. Try it again. I don't know how, like, do you fall asleep during meditation? Do you understand this?
yeah,
Can you get into
yeah,
this state?
yep,
So you know what I'm talking about. Okay,
yep.
great. That's what you want to do. And now what I would like you to do, to experiment this one with me. If you're doing 2 to 3 a day, let's just say you're doing 2 a day, just for math's sake, do one of the visualization and do one of the self-talk, the one I just taught you right now. Do that. Okay, so this is way more weight than whatever action. Okay. The second thing you're gonna do is right before you go off to sleep, you're gonna do this again. Do if anything, combine them together. Do one, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Do a
Okay.
visualization and a self-talk right before you go off to sleep. Like literally, go to sleep. Don't walk on your phone. Don't do anything else. Go off to sleep. And as you're doing it, put it in your heart and surrender. Like surrender. Go off to sleep. Like I go off to when I went off to sleep that night, I was like, man, it's done. I don't have to go out and get it. Remember the self-talk things. It's effortless. It comes to me easily. And so in my heart, I came to the feeling state of whatever I was visualizing. I put that in my heart as I went off to sleep. And then everything else it would just happen. Everything else would just happen. So let's summarize what I'm saying right here. I put way more weight on this. And then the action is whatever the fuck. It's like, I don't know. I make a YouTube video. I don't know. I'm studying this program for meditation. Like I just like, bro, honestly, my life is really easy. That's why I like coaching call because I stop. It's like therapy for me. I don't have to think all day. My life is really easy, bro. I make good money. I work really like coaching clients maybe like 3 hours a week, 4 hours a week. I make YouTube videos every other day, which takes me about an hour and a half with editing and everything. So bro, I work like 10 hours a week. It's very easy, but now I want to go to the next level and I just really start experimenting. So hopefully you're getting a lot from this, bro. So things I'm like highlighting. It's like the meditations, the sleepless day, letting go and letting God, putting it in your heart, knowing it's done. Don't worry too much about this shit. The moment I've noticed, the moment I start worrying too much about this shit is when things start going sideways for me.
Mm.
And
Do
I'm learning now. I'm 29. I'm
Yeah.
learning now how I'm going to build a business if I'm never focusing on this shit, dude. Like I can't always just live here because I also want predictability and consistency, which means you have to have some actions and infrastructure and stuff, which I know how to do this stuff. But if I get too bogged down on it, like tracking numbers and tracking expenses and shit, is when shit goes sideways for me. So it's like I have to be able to bounce like in the matrix, in and out of the matrix, if that makes sense. That's what I'm learning now, my
Yeah.
years in this business.
Generally during the day, how would you feel? Would you say you feel good? Would you say you feel like this sounds funny? I kind of don't know how to feel.
But honestly, I just honestly I would just say neutral.
Okay. Okay.
I would just say neutral, like living life like in the matrix. I'll be honest, bro. Like
Got
I'm
it.
in the matrix. I think that's why the self talk is important because that's an unconscious part. If you do the homework, like go to the gym, go train biceps. If you're training biceps 3 days a week, you're gonna grow your bicep, right? So if you train your subconscious mind 3 days a week, after 3 weeks, you're gonna notice that it's growing. Your bicep is growing after 3 weeks. It's the
Oh,
same thing with your self talk. It's like honestly, it's not like every day I'm like, oh fuck, like monitoring my thoughts. It's like I do, but I'm really just living life, bro. Just like normal dude, living life, think about whatever, It's like this is the part that takes over, is the self-talk. It's an unconscious thing. You don't always catch it, but if you train it, as I'm saying, it's just like training a bicep. If you're training it 3 times a day for 3 weeks, you're gonna notice a massive difference. So now your neutral state goes from neutral to positive
oh,
in your waking daily hours, if that makes sense.
yeah, it does. Yeah,
That's one. The
a
next
lot.
thing is I don't ever let myself go negative. So today I woke up today. We found out that the I bought Vanessa some hair in Dubai. It was like $2,000 for hair and styling and shit. We found out they kind of scammed us. We left her hair there overnight. So we paid for it. Everything was good. 3 months later, she needs to get it redone, and we left the extension there overnight. We came back and we found out they swapped it for some cheaper shit. Like, so it got us fucked up. So we had to buy a new one here. So we go to the store. And it was only $500, bro. And I was just like, I felt this heaviness on my heart. I'm like, tremendous heaviness to the point where I couldn't even sit down at lunch after we paid for her hair again. I was like, why do I feel like this? I went to the bathroom. I was like, why do I feel so much heaviness in my heart? So I identified each emotion. The first emotion was I feel like I got scammed a bit for $2,000, which I was like, bro, I don't care. I'll take 2,000. So I was like, I felt a little scammed a little bit. So I took some actions, which is I disputed the money. Okay. And I let go and I let God. I put in my heart, I was like, God, if they really did scam us, like I put it in your hands now, I'll take the money back. If not, if they didn't scam us and it's whatever, I just like I do an action like this. I ball up that particular emotion that's stressing me out and I just like surrender back up to God and say, you handle it now. It's up to you. So that part of anxiety went away. So I identified one. The second one was then spending money again, like particularly at this place. And I thought to myself, it's Dubai, sorry, Bali. So $500 is a lot of money. So it was a small little business, three little Asian ladies in there with the hair. There was no clients in there. It was like a hole in the wall type shit. And I was like, did this $500 just serve these ladies? Was their dream just expand a little bit? Did I just lighten up their day by because hair is not cheap, bro? Like even Dubai money that sorry, Bali money is probably like $1,500. So I just probably funded these ladies rent right now, probably with this money, right? So did I just add value to them? And the answer was yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I surrender the negative shit to God and let that handle itself. I know that the $500 I just spent just um just serve these ladies. Okay. The last one is just like the actual $500 itself, like the actual money I spent that just left my account. And at that point, I was like, dude, I just made 15 grand yesterday. It's gonna come right back. Don't worry, bro. It's $500. Fuck it, whatever. You're good at making money. Self talk again. And then I just released it. Oh, I did this all, bro, in like minutes in the bathroom, like this. And afterwards, I felt amazing. I was actually proud of myself. I was like, fuck yeah, bro. Like literally. So I don't ever let myself go negative.
Yeah.
And if I do, I assess it. I'll go to the bathroom. I'm not gonna sit there at the breakfast at the dinner and just feel like shit. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna identify. I'm gonna fix it. And then so surrendering to God is so important, bro. You have to surrender. Surrendering without God, there's nothing to surrender to. Who do you surrender to? It's back on your shoulders again. It's like you throw it up in the air, it comes right back, unless you have God to like take it away. Like you have to have a God or some higher source or Jesus, whatever you need. Like you have to be able to surrender these feeling states to Him and let it work itself out. Which I honestly, this is a new chapter of my life. I've never done this stuff before. I'm like 3 days into it, and I'm fucking living life right now. Proud of myself for this shit, right? And now I came back out and I feel good again. So I never let my stuff go negative. I typically live in neutral, but I want to retrain my neutral to be a higher state of neutral, if that makes sense. For
Yeah.
example, you're driving a car in a first gear and say a Honda Civic VTEC is a different first gear for for a Ferrari Testarossa. One, you're going 60 miles per hour in first gear. Another one, you're going 6 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? Both of them are first gear. What do I mean by that? When you're neutral, for some people, neutral is just like nothing. What we want to train ourselves is that our neutral state, meaning we're not thinking, we're unconscious, is fucking lit, positive, boom, 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 positive, positive. Everything I touch, everything I touch, everything I touch. And it's just our neutral state is at such a high frequency that it just naturally attracts great things to us. First gear for one person is different for first gear for another person. We want to raise our first gear by doing the meditations, the training I just taught you here multiple times, so that we're operating at a higher frequency. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yes.
Bro, this is fire ass training, bro. If you don't, bro, I might even need to post this on YouTube if you don't mind. I've never trained this shit. This is fucking fire ass shit, dude.
Yeah, go for it.
I enjoy this because like I articulate what I do, and this is fun for me, dude. This is really fun.
What you just said about the first gear of a Civic versus the first gear of a Ferrari, just that made everything make so much sense. Because for some people's first gear is like 100K a month, other people's first gear is 1,000 a month. And now I understand the emotions and the feelings of one versus the other. And what you said about you have to train the subconscious mind like you train your biceps, so I have to train myself for that first gear, where that first gear is 100,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't even like worry about the money. The money will come, bro. So it's like the action step for you is like, don't worry about the money. Just worry about, remember, tattoo this on you. Give service, work, build, dream, create. It's not how, it's who. Not how, it's who. Who do you need to become, and it will come to you. That like the 15K comes to me. At least once a month, I make 15 to 20 grand in a day. Now I need to raise that shit, but I know that's gonna come. That's gonna come in, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, your action step is you need to retrain that subconscious mind. You need to go to the gym. You train every day your abs. You train your food. You're gonna eat this or not eat that. You're training the body, but you got to train the mind, dude. And you'll notice it's effortless. And just keep it simple, dude. Do your studies. Well, you already know TIR twice a day. Okay, but TR doesn't teach you this shit, dude. Like this is just stuff I've learned. It's in my heart. It's my experience. I do this full time. So like you don't learn these things. This is what I try to do at the coaching levels, but it's hard for me to do this in the group. I don't know why, but maybe I should just go one-on-one, dude. I don't know. I'm really strongly considering this. I would never do this in the group. I don't know why. But like there's so much deeper stuff in me that it doesn't really get pulled out on the group calls. They only get pulled out on one-on-ones. So I want to have more fun too. So I might just switch everything to one-on-one only.
Yeah, this
So
is
anyways,
tremendous.
yeah,
I look forward to sharing a massive breakthrough with you in the next 60 days.
yes, sir. Even faster, dude. It can happen this week, 7 days. Remember, 3 days, 3 to 7 days. Why wait 6 days?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're in a high state right now. If anything, like, let it happen tomorrow. Like let it happen this week. Why limit yourself? 3 to 7 days.
All right. Yeah, this is phenomenal, man. I'm gonna run with this.